So I want to start getting a basing kit put together so that I can decorate my bases. Now, for my particular models, I'm going to be simulating different types of planets, and I want to have like just some basic stuff here. So the materials I'm going to use are, number one, I'm going to get this little hand crank sifter, and this I got for like $3.50. And you don't want to steal your mom's or anything, because we're going to be putting dirt in here, and you don't want dirt in your biscuits or something after you're done. Then I got some disposable plastic containers, and right now it's back to school time, so I got some like Elmer style white school glue, and these I got for 60 cents, and like the next day I saw them at Walmart for like 17 cents. But 60 cents ain't bad. I mean, you buy, that stuff. And also, I got some regular sand here, just in case. This is purified decor sand from the dollar store. So I got this giant bag of sand here for $1. And I also got some natural pelletized stone here. I got this giant bag of stones for $1 at the dollar store. And this is probably more stone than you can use in an entire army. And you could probably even base an entire game board with just this amount of rocks right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around in my front yard, and I'm going to get 3 basic colors of earth for my bases. I'm going to get a white base, a dark base, and a red base. And those are going to be my 3 basic colors. And I'm not going to need any more than that to do all of my different figures that I'm going to use. So fortunately, I got all those different colors in my yard, so I'm going to go around right now and start picking them up and getting them ready to be used. Alright, so my first sample that I want to get is I want to get a lot of this light colored earth, and I want to try to get as pure a sample as I can. So, unfortunately, it rains here in Florida on a constant basis, so I can't get anything that's like really dry. But fortunately, this earth likes to float on top of the dark stuff. So I can sift that, throw out all the junk. Get myself another scoop here. Alright, so next I got a spot where I found some nice dark dirt, and this has got a lot of organic material in it, which is one of the big reasons why we want to use this crank scoop, is to filter out all the cruddy like roots and sticks and leaves and bugs and whatever else you might have in this stuff. Okay, my final base coat is going to be a red color. Now I live in North Florida, so this is what we call Georgia red clay, and it's pretty common up here, but this is going to give a really nice look to a Mars style pattern. And so I'm going to collect some of this red in here. And start sifting it out here. So here's our lightest color earth, and this is the store-bought sand with absolutely 0 impurities in it. And now this is our light color sand, and you can see that it's not necessarily pure light, but that's why we have the store-bought. So, and then from that light we have our dark earth here, which this is very fine, very filtered. And then from our dark we have our red earth, which is going to represent our Mars colored dirt. Now this dirt still has a lot of moisture in it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out one at a time on a cookie sheet, and I'm going to bake it in the oven at between 250 and 300 degrees for half an hour to try to bake all of that moisture out so that we don't have problems with it clumping up and not sticking to our models, because it won't take to the glue. Like, it'll get glued down, but since there's moisture on it, when the moisture evaporates, the stuff will slowly start to come off. So we're just going to bake these three individually in the oven and then refilter them through the strainer, and then we'll have our completed product. Alright, so I got my oven preheated up here, and I have some baking trays, and I'm going to put my dirt on. Now, one cool thing about this is that your army will be a one-of-a-kind, and this will be dirt topographically from your area, and you can take some pride in that. That it kind of has a home turf feel to it. It's my red. Here's my black. Just gonna make that a little evened out. And finally, my light color. Now I'm going to leave them in there for 30 minutes. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so, well, our dirt is done. And let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to let these cool down, and we'll put them back in the containers. So now I've got everything ready to go. I've got all of my basing soils here in my different colors, and I have these three, which are my native soils, and I've got them all baked, and I re-sifted through them, and they're all ready to go. I got my glue, and I've got my little bag of rocks. You can also use kitty litter. Hopefully not use kitty litter, but I've heard of people using kitty litter. I like to use these natural stones because kitty litter is made out of clay, and they kind of break down a little bit. And if they get wet, they turn into mush. But natural rocks aren't going to do that. And this was buck, so not too bad. And I've got my little shovel here and my sifter. And it took me about a half an hour to collect all these three samples here, and then another half hour to bake them and then re-sift them, and I'm all ready to go. Now, the one thing I don't have here is grass. Now, there's another excellent video by miniwargaming.com that shows you how to make green grass flock. And it's an excellent video, and I'm going to put a link to it in the side or post this as a response. And that there you can make grass. So this is all I'm going to use for my basing. So this costs about $10 in total for everything. The only thing I didn't buy fresh was the shovel I had on hand. And I bought this kind of sifter. You can get a dollar store sifter. This one was $3.50, but this one makes work a lot faster. You just crank it out, and it's not that expensive. And this will last you like the whole time. And you don't want to use one that you use for food. You want to use this just for dirt purposes only. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.